Nicholas Van Orton is a businessman who lives by himself outside of San Francisco in a large mansion. He is extremely successful, but his success has hurt his family's life. He is depressed, divorced, and lonely when the movie starts. Nicholas only has a living relative in his brother Conrad, but their relationship is strained and they haven't seen each other in 2 years. Nicholas learns one morning that Conrad has been attempting to set up a meeting with him for days. He shows up unannounced that afternoon at a restaurant and says he's there to wish Nicholas a happy birthday. Nicholas receives yet another surprise, and Conrad gives him a bizarre present, a voucher or a bizarre game offered by CRS. Nicholas initially believes that Connor is making a mockery of him, but the younger brother makes him promise that he will at least once this week visit the CRS office. Nicholas goes to an office building for a meeting the following day, when he almost forgets about the voucher. Additionally, coincidentally, this is the location of the CRS office. Jim, an employee, greets him as he enters. He shows Conrad around the office and explains the pre-game procedures to him, but he doesn't tell him anything about the game itself. Although the mystery of it all keeps Nicholas interested in the game, he is irritated that his inquiries are not being answered. Consequently, he agrees to play the game without knowing what it is, participating in a personality test that lasts for 4 hours as part of the pre-game procedure. Nicholas clears his schedule so he can carry it out, and he is confronted with a slew of bizarre inquiries, such as whether he ever hurts small animals. He is informed that he will receive a call if he is selected for the game after a lengthy and exhausting test. He spends the following day with his tennis club buddies and listens to them discuss CRS. It turns out that both of his friends have played the CRS game and aspire to do so again. Nicholas inquires about the game's specifics, but even his friends deny answering. He receives a call from CRS after a meeting and is informed that his application has been rejected. Nicholas is disappointed by the news because he is now so eager to play the game. He decides to bring a life-size clown doll home when he is driving home at night and sees one in the turnaround. While attempting to check who left it outside, he views as a key connected to the comedian's tongue. Strangely, the CRS logo is on the key, indicating that the game has started despite his phone call. A voice asks Nicholas if he will spend the entire evening dissecting the poor doll as Nicholas continues to examine the clown. Nicholas looks around in surprise to discover that the newscaster is speaking to him on the television. He explains to Nicholas the rules of the game, revealing that Nicholas must always keep an eye on the key and other objects until the game is over. Additionally, Nicholas discovers that the doll conceals a camera that the newscaster is using to observe Nicholas. In order to get rid of the camera, he slits the clown's neck and falls asleep. He begins to complain about a few minor issues the following day. He constantly encounters people who stare at him as if they know something, and a CRS pen in his pocket has ruined his shirt. He also sees clown-shaped objects everywhere. When he can't open his briefcase, he loses a business deal, and the inconveniences start to hurt him a lot soon. He tries to use the CRS key in a last-ditch effort, but neither method works. He goes to a restaurant for dinner at the end of the day, where he meets a waitress named Christine. She is immediately fired by her boss after she accidentally spills wine on his shirt. Nicholas receives the bill with the message, "Don't let her get away," within a matter of seconds. He rushes outside to find Christine after determining that the message is about her. Nicholas comes across a man who is ill in a pitch-black alleyway. Christine suddenly appears and demands that he be taken to the hospital. A police car drives by and assists them as if on cue. Stranger things begin to occur as the ambulance, police, and medical personnel arrive at the hospital. Christine and Nicholas are the only people in the parking lot when the lights suddenly go out and come back on. Nicholas realizes that this is a part of the game as well. Nicholas uses the CRS key to repair a broken elevator that the duo discovers. After that, he tells Christine about the game he signed up for, which she believes is a sadistic activity reserved for wealthy people. They discover that they are in the CRS building after somehow managing to exit the elevator. They set off an alarm when they try to break into the offices, and they have to get away before they can be found. Nicholas takes Christine to his mansion because he feels bad for dragging Christine into this mess. She takes a shower and calls herself a taxi after they have a brief conversation. Christine reveals, just before she heads out, that she had previously been offered for $100 to spill wine on him, but that she had not seen the person who asked her to do so. Nicholas says goodbye to her and thanks her for telling him. He gets a call the next morning, wakes up, and finds out that he left his credit card in a hotel lobby last night. Nicholas goes to retrieve his card, perplexed by the fact that he has never stayed in a hotel. The staff recognizes him despite his complete confusion and leads him to his room, which he allegedly used last night as well. Nicholas sees bottles of illegal drugs and alcohol all over the room, which is a complete mess. On the table are Polaroid photos of naked women lying on the floor, while an explicit video plays on the television. However, Nicholas's most surprising discovery is that someone has opened his case as well. In spite of the fact that his business, reputation, finances, and safety are in jeopardy, he quickly cleans up the mess and drives back to his office. He quickly calls Sam, his attorney, and tells him to learn everything he can about the CRS. An envelope he discovered in the hotel room also contains a glass-breaking tool. Nicholas wants to go right to bed when he gets home at night after everything has happened. He soon discovers, however, that someone has entered his mansion. The walls are loaded up with spray painting, and the spot doesn't seem to be his home any longer. The door knocking astonishes Nicholas just as he picks up the phone to call the police. His brother Conrad, who is just as frantic as he is the culprit. Conrad hadn't been returning any of Nicholas' phone calls, which the younger brother explained was because Nicholas no longer trusted anyone. They leave the mansion in Nicholas's car because they no longer feel safe there. After that, Conrad says that the CRS game that has taken over his life is tiring him out. He has paid them a lot of money to get rid of them, but it hasn't worked. Conrad discovers a slew of CRS keys in the vehicle after the vehicle suddenly experiences a flat tire. He flees, assuming that his brother is also with the CRS. Nicholas tries to stop him, but he gets in a taxi and decides to call the police in the end. The taxi driver misses an exit in the following scene, indicating that he is also with CRS. Nicholas becomes agitated when the driver gets out of the car and lets it fall into the river. When Nicholas realizes he has the glass-breaking tool, the car starts getting wet. He is able to swim to safety and save his life by utilizing the device. Nicholas finds Christine's address and goes to meet her because he has no one else to turn to. Before he realizes that a lamp's price tag is burning inside, they talk for a while. He finds it odd that the lamp looks old, but still has a price tag on it. He soon begins to notice additional things in the house that give the impression that it is a stage rather than a home. The books on the shelves are also fake, and the faucet is broken. It is evident that Christine continues to work for CRS when she enters the building. Nicholas confronts her to learn that they are being observed. Through the window, the CRS employees began to fire at them, but the duo manages to get out through the back door. Christine reveals that CRS has used Nicholas' personality tests to determine his passcodes while they are on their way to a safe location, and that all of Nicholas' money has been transferred to a fake account in another country. Nicholas checks his balance and discovers that she is lying. Christine says that it is impossible for him to get his money back, despite the fact that he still insists on it. She has seen this happen to a lot of people. After that, they make a pit stop at Christine's actual residence, where she claimed she was threatened with taking the job. Nicholas, on the other hand, has lost faith in her when he experiences dizziness and discovers that she spiked his drink. His doubt is confirmed. A day later, Nicholas discovers that he is still alive and buried in a Mexican cemetery. He doesn't have a passport or money to get home. He finally locates a truck heading to San Francisco after wandering around for a day asking for assistance. He enters his now-for-sale mansion in the following scene. He decides to meet Elizabeth, his ex-wife, because he cannot trust anyone in his life. Nicholas makes an apology to her for how he treated her when they were together. When they meet in a cafe, Nicholas sees a television advertisement in which the actor portrays Jim, the CPR worker who helped him last week just as he thinks his life is over. Nicholas finds Jim with his children in an aquarium and undermines him. Nicholas is taken to the real CRS office by the man who is afraid for his life. He is not surprised to see several people he has known for a week in the crowd, but when he finds Christine, his eyes stop. She is taken to the rooftop while he holds her hostage. Christine finally admits, in a fit of panic, that they are still participating in the CPR organized game with his brother Conrad, that his finances are intact, and that his friends and family are waiting on the other side of the door to surprise him and congratulate him on winning the game. Nicholas, on the other hand, no longer trusts Christine. He shoots the first person he sees when the door opens, Conrad, who's carrying an open champagne bottle. Nicholas is devastated by what he just did and leaps off the roof after Conrad passes away. Nicholas's life vanishes before his eyes as he falls. He lands on a massive airbag after crashing through a glass roof. It looked almost as though someone was waiting for him to fall from it. Not even a few seconds later, the emergency medical technicians carefully remove him. Nicholas wakes up in a ballroom filled with his friends, family, and all of the people involved in his game, including Conrad. Since the day he discovered the clown, everything he has experienced has essentially been a game. Conrad explains that the game was started by him to get his brother to accept life. After his shock has subsided, Nicholas breaks down in tears, takes a break, and has a good time at the party. He follows Christine outside to her taxi when he discovers that she has left the party. There, She tells him that her real name is Claire. She offers to meet him for coffee at the airport before her flight takes her to her next game assignment in Australia, despite his request for dinner.